Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife, Melissa, of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, I'm going to be talking about the holiday season and how it could impact your food business. But before we get into that, I want to thank Table Needs for sponsoring this episode of the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Table Needs is a full-service POS system capable of handling your busy food truck, cash, credit card, and reporting needs. For more information about Table Needs, just check out the link in the description. I've told you guys many times that my very first experience as a street food vendor was selling hot dogs out of a borrowed Coca-Cola trailer, and I did that in 1981. But really, my very first street food vending experience was the winter before 1981. This was specifically the Christmas parade that was held in Ashland, Kentucky. I went there with a fold-up card table, a big thing of hot chocolate, a big cooler of hot chocolate, and chocolate chip cookies. And we took a lot of coupons to pass out for the restaurant. Again, I worked for Rax Restaurants. So I took all of that stuff downtown. We had a few things to give away, some coffee mugs and t-shirts. And then again, we're selling cookies and we're selling hot chocolate. It was a particularly cold winter that year. Usually the Christmas parade, and I've been to pretty much all of them growing up, they were cold sometimes, rainy sometimes. Every once in a while it was snowy, and that was kind of a cool thing. But this particular night was just really frigidly cold. It wasn't snowing, wasn't raining, it was just cold. So the hot chocolate just flew out of the cooler, and we sold a bunch of chocolate chip cookies. After all, who doesn't want hot chocolate and a cookie? So that was my first experience with selling on the street. We sold out within probably half hour, 45 minutes, and the parade maybe halfway done at that point when we sold out. Hadn't even seen Santa Claus drive by. But what I did learn is when you're in amongst a bunch of people that are focused on one thing, and in this case, watching the parade, having that little bit of distraction is a good thing. So they get to eat. Certainly the kids love having hot chocolate and having cookies. So it was a good evening. And again, we sold completely out. So what can you do to maximize the upcoming holiday season? Because we are now right before Thanksgiving. So I need you to consider that the holiday season can be a game changer for you. A lot of people look at the holiday season as, is it going to be slow? And we see this on posts. People will say, what do you think about setting up somewhere on Black Friday? And then there's the negative Nellies that will say, no, you don't want to do that because, and they list off a bunch of reasons they think why it's not going to be successful. And what I look at anytime that I think about where am I going to set up, the next thing that comes out of my mind once I figured out where I'm going to set up is how can I make this setup be successful? So a couple things that you can do to make sure wherever you decide to set up is successful is look at your menu. How can you add something to make it a little bit more festive, or how can you change something? Think about all the holiday drinks that are be coming out that'll have mint in them or peppermint. What can you do with your menu that would get people stepping up to the window, number one, because they're hungry, and then number two, they're looking and go, oh, I'll try that because. So think about like a holiday feast burger. We're starting the typical and probably old, tired, let's throw everything from Thanksgiving feast onto some bread and call it a sandwich. So you're taking things like turkey and then stuffing and then green bean casserole and then maybe topping it with some cranberry sauce, putting it on some type of sub roll or sandwich and send it out the window because it's, again, something that most people are going to end up doing anyway, but hey, we're ahead of Thanksgiving, so we're going to do it. You can think about things like a Thanksgiving dinner taco. So now same ingredients that would have been on that sandwich, but now they're held in a taco or a burrito. It's something a little bit different that gives your menu that unique feel, but still can accommodate people in that holiday spirit. You want to be strategic when you do decide where you're going to set up and sell food from. We talk about location is everything, and it still is true even at the holiday season. Holiday shoppers will not go out of their way to find food. They're going to grab whatever's the most convenient relative to wherever they're shopping. So if they're walking inside of a mall where there's a food court, it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to set up outside that mall in the parking lot because you're too far away from the action. If you want to set up on the sidewalk that leads into a major department store, that makes sense because you're right there on the way in and obviously on the way out. So after they've had the many hours of shopping, they may be tired enough to want to go ahead and just grab a bite from you, sit in their car and eat it. You got to be convenient, and that is especially important during the holiday season because people are focused on doing something. They are shopping. They are buying stuff. They are getting prepared for the holiday season, and you want to be as convenient as possible. Now, you can also think about things like, is there a tree lighting ceremony in your area? Are there other local events that are popular in your area that make sense for you to be a part of? Like me setting up a card table and selling hot chocolate. You don't have to bring your whole full menu. You can just set up and only specialize in one thing for that evening and sell a bunch of them. Reach out to those organizers. And if you've already missed this year's window of opportunity, put it on your calendar for next year. You want to embrace holiday branding. So you're thinking about reds and greens and holly and pine boughs and all of the other things that people associate with Christmas. The little ornaments, the jingle bells, all of those things. Change out your normal headgear for the Santa hat. You can take the little jingle bells and run them around your serving window. And that way people can jingle the little bells as they step up. The idea is you want to make your existence during the holiday season seem like it's a part of the holidays, and people look forward to you the next year because you've created something that they remember and maybe get their kids involved with it. You can think about things like getting generic wraps that are just holiday themed and then using those instead of your normal checked wraps or whatever it is you're using to wrap your food in. Get holiday stickers and apply those. There's things you can do to make your business seem a little bit more festive rather than, okay, here's some food, here you go, thank you, have a nice day. You can use holiday-themed cups if you sell coffee or even cold drinks. It's okay to change those kind of things out for the holidays. And then, of course, everything that you're selling that's different, make sure you get a whole bunch of pictures for your social media. Limited time only. Come check us out. Whether it be that sandwich, the wrap, or whatever it is that you're doing. Now, some things you can do to help your sales going forward. Talk about gift cards. We've mentioned this a few times. You can sell gift cards. Square makes it super easy to sell gift cards, as do other POS systems. It's a nice, easy little stocking stuffer for people. You can also do meal deals where they can buy ahead. Instead of it being a gift card, you're giving them a certificate for a bundle of food. And it could be enough to feed a family if you wanted to. And they can pick it up whenever you decide for them to be able to pick it up. So think about the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Most people, and we've seen this in the restaurants we've ran, where we think that the night before Thanksgiving is going to be pretty dead because we think everybody's home preparing, and they are. And they send somebody out to buy food because they don't want to cut into the food they're already preparing at home. They just want to get something quick and easy. So sell a bunch of pizzas, sell a bunch of sandwiches. So have that stuff prepared and ready to go. Here's a family bundle for when you're cooking your dinner and getting ready for Thanksgiving. Here's 10 sandwiches and 5 fries or whatever you want to do. Something that encourages people to come to you because it's quick and easy and you already know what they're going to be buying. You can do the same thing during the office party season, which is usually the second and third week of December, where everybody is trying to have that one last office party before they're going to be either closed or they reduce hours or whatever it is they do for the official holiday season. Get yourself to be a part of that. We can bring this stuff to your office. We can help you set up. We can help serve the food at your office, and we can make it Christmas themed if you've been paying attention to the early part of the podcast. You want to promote like crazy. You're going into a busy season where people kind of throw caution to the wind when it comes to their own personal finances, and they go out and buy stuff they probably shouldn't be buying, but they want to make somebody happy. And of course, the consequence of that is they got to eat while they're shopping. Or you can include your food as something they're wanting to purchase. So promote like crazy. Every social media that you're on should be reflective, number one, of where you're going to be, what you're going to be selling, but then also just holiday themed to make people want to come to your business. Promote like crazy. You can do a holiday giveaway. Now, this is something that I've talked about before. You've got to collect up information about your guests. The simplest thing to do is get them to join some type of newsletter. Square will set up this for you, and there's other POS systems that will do it as well. So I'm not trying to push Square. I'm just using that as an easy example. But you want people to go to your website, put in their name and email, and then in return, you're sending them some type of newsletter, some type of email that says, hey, thank you so much for joining. Here's something for them having given you that email. Once you have that email collected, then you can use that to market to them and let them know that you're going to be wherever you're going to be located, and then what the special is for Christmas. I've talked to you guys before about a gentleman in Houston that he does smoked turkeys and does a bunch of them. I haven't talked to him yet this year, but I would imagine he's probably working on them right now, getting ready for the deliveries that he'll be making on Thanksgiving and the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And that's all that he works on for days upon days, all the sides, and then the smoked turkeys. And he makes a big bunch of money. He makes so much money he doesn't need to work in December. But of course he ends up working because people want the same thing come Christmas time. Now, one little word of caution, don't forget about the weather. Some parts of the country you'll be able to vend with no problem. Today, for example, I'm in Florida. You guys know I live in the Panhandle, and it's downright cold. It got down to the 30s the last couple of nights, which for us is very, very cold. Now, it does warm up into the low 70s in the daytime, so it's very pleasant once we get past that morning chill. But wherever you are, you may not have that luxury of it's going to be fairly warm. It could be downright cold, it could be snowy, it could be rainy. So anticipate and pay attention to your local weather stations. Pick one that you feel is most accurate, and then pay attention to what they got to say. Because you definitely don't want to be buying a whole bunch of food only for it to be snowing the next 3 days. But if that does happen, have that backup plan. Think about how you can, especially if you bought a bunch of food and now it's going to be snowing, how do you get that food into your guests' hands? Do you end up doing delivery? It may be a little clunky, but you may have to do something to get that food out, because it's way better to sell a little bit of the food than to sell none of it. Make sure you stay organized and stocked. You don't want to brag about, we've got this awesome sandwich, and then you sell out of it before everyone gets to try it that wants to try it. And no, please don't even think, well, FOMO, we got to have that. FOMO is fear of missing out. That doesn't work with food. The reason it doesn't work with food is I still got to eat. So if you've bragged about some awesome sandwich that you've got, and then I step up to the window and you say, sorry, sold out, I still got to eat. Chances are, because you've disappointed me by not having what I came there to get, I'm going to go somewhere else just because I'm mad. And now I've got a negative feeling about you. The next time I decide I'm going to eat that food truck, oh no, they're probably out of what I want. I'll go somewhere else. Fear of missing out does not work with food because we still got to eat. And once we get that hunger satiated, we've now learned that, hey, this particular place I just went to had what I wanted, and it wasn't like that other person that told me, no, sorry, sold out. So don't get stuck on that fear of missing out nonsense. It does not work in food service. Make sure you keep your team on the same page as you're on. So if you have a couple of employees, they've got to understand that the holiday season could be really big. And they got to be on their best game, because you're going to have a whole lot of first-timers come up to you because of your location, and you got to impress them so that they'll want to find you when you're not doing special things. The holiday season can be one of the busiest times of the year, and it can be the most profitable, especially for food trucks. But you only can achieve that profitability by planning ahead, embracing the festive spirit, and then positioning yourself so you can make the best of the season. You've got to think ahead on this stuff. Remember, it's not just about selling food. It's about creating an experience, a holiday experience where there's memories tied to that. Imagine the mom that is just beat to death about taking her kids out. Got the kids with me because dad's off at work and I'm out spending dad's money. But I got the kids with me because the kids are shopping for their friends. And mom is wore out and she steps up to the food truck, and then you guys delight the children. Guess what's going to happen next year? The kids are going to influence mom to go find that neat food truck, the one that we got, that really awesome product. Now you've created a memory and created a habit. And hopefully those kids will grow up and want to bring their kids to your legacy food truck. That's when you know you got a business. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding the information that we provide helpful, please consider subscribing. And if you really love what we do, you can show some support. Just click the link in the description and make that happen. Thank you guys again so much for listening. You guys have a profitable week.